This is the all-new Vauxhall Astra. Now, let's be honest, in the past that wasn't a sentence we, and probably a lot of you, would have got too excited about. But for this 8th generation version of the car, the British brand is promising something radically different, both in terms of how it looks and what's going on under the metal. What hasn't changed is that it will be available as a 5-door hatchback like this, or a more practical sports tourer estate. We'll have to wait until we drive it before telling you whether it's a genuine VW Golf beater or not, but for now we're able to take a close-up look inside and out. Since the old Astra launched in 2015, there have been big changes for Vauxhall. Along with its German parent Opel, it now belongs to the huge Stellantis group, along with Peugeot, Citroën, Fiat and more. That means this car you see here is a sister to the upcoming Peugeot 308 and uses a lot of the same technology as other models we're familiar with. We'll go into a bit more detail on that a bit later, but before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the Driving Electric YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos go live. So let's start off with styling, shall we? This distinctive front-end design is becoming familiar now. Vauxhall calls it the visor, and it has already appeared on the Mokka, Crossland and Grandland SUVs. But how does it work on a family hatchback shape? Ultimately, that's up to you to decide, so make sure you let us know what you think in the comments. Elsewhere, Vauxhall describes the new Astra as having been detoxed of superfluous elements. And overall, it does look simple, clean and straightforward, whichever way you look at it. The short front overhang means that although this new Astra is give or take the same length as the old version, it's got a longer wheelbase, which should translate to more space inside. It's also available with two-tone paint finish like it is here, while there's also the thin and angular tail lights, a chunky aggressive bumper, as well as the prominent Astra nameplate that finishes the picture at the back. Apart from the smart new styling, the big news about this Astra is that it will be available as a plug-in hybrid from launch and as an EV later on. There will be 2 hybrid versions to choose from initially, one with 178 and another with 222 brake horsepower, both driving through an 8-speed automatic gearbox emitting less than 30 grams per kilometre of CO2. Those numbers mean company car drivers will be quids in when it comes to their monthly benefit-in-kind tax bill. We're told charging from a 7kW home wall box will take around 90 minutes, providing a range of around 35 miles on a full charge. Now, just like the outside, the inside of the Astra will be familiar to anyone who sat in one of Vauxhall's latest Mokkas. And Vauxhall has a name for this. It's called Pure Panel. That means you get 2 10-inch screens, one behind the steering wheel and one in the middle of the dash, covered by a transparent panel, giving the illusion of one large screen that stretches across the front. It all adds to the distinctly high-tech feel of this new Astra. Pure Panel gives you access to features like a 360-degree parking camera and a wide range of driver assistance technology, plus wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone connectivity. There are some good old physical buttons for the climate control, however, which is something we always like to see. And if you're worried about all this distracting you from the road, high-spec models will come with a head-up display to show you vital information right in your eye line. Vauxhall is very keen to boast about the Astra's new seats because they've got the independent seal of approval from German ergonomics experts, and they definitely feel comfortable and supportive sitting here. The driving position is good. I'm actually sat 12mm lower than I would have done in the old Astra, so it definitely feels sporty. But we'll have to report back after a long slog up the M6 for a definitive verdict. Quality, even on this pre-production model, is very good. The design is clean, unfussy and, dare we say, quite cool. Sitting in the back, space is only average for this class. I'm only 5'4", and while headroom is okay, leg and foot room is compromised. It perhaps feels a bit more cramped in our car because of the dark headlining, but that can't take away from the fact that it's just not that spacious overall. The positives though, you do get decent sized door bins, nets on the back of the seats, and in top spec cars, heated seats. If you're one of the family hatchback faithfuls, then you're going to want to know how big and how usable the new Astra's boot is. Well, the news isn't great here either. We don't have numbers yet, but the high floor on this hybrid means there's barely room for anything else other than a single large suitcase. That being said, it's the same story in the Seat Leon hybrid. Both the petrol models offer bigger boots. We don't have full UK pricing and specifications for the new Astra yet, but as it's a sister model to that new Peugeot 308 we mentioned earlier, it's reasonable to assume prices won't be dissimilar. That means around £22,000 for the basic petrol version or £30,000 for the one us DrivingElectric lot are really interested in, the entry-level plug-in hybrid. Trim levels haven't yet been confirmed either. So there you have it, a new Vauxhall Astra that promises to be a lot more interesting than many of its predecessors. On first impressions, we love the way it looks and the technology on board. With a plug-in hybrid available at launch and the possibility of a full EV later down the line, this could be the family car that covers all bases. All that's left now is for us to drive it, so watch this space. Head to DrivingElectric.com for all the latest electric car advice, news and reviews, and check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.